thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world. Yep. Yep. Here we go. What's up? It's your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad Podcast. Got a great show for you this evening. How do I know? Because I said so, and we typically do, right? Because we are giving you a perspective of solutions and not just of complaints and whatnot. And so this evening, we're going to be talking about Ebony K. Williams and her decision to be a single mother now, right? And so for those that don't know, she has impregnated herself, which is very interesting. So we're going to talk about that and see what the panel has to say. And the question that we're going to be starting off with is, what do you value most about your friends? What do you value most about your friends? And we're going to start off with Lost in Translation.
Thank you, sir. How are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
tell you what I love most about my friends is that they know to leave me alone. Listen, they know I require a lot of attention. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we get together, we hang out. It's a great time. But for the most part, they know how to leave me alone, man. You know,
That's
we
what's
can
up.
just pick up what we left off from anytime.
Yeah, that's really dope when you can just pick up where you left off, like y'all not have not been gone for sure. That's what's up. Appreciate you for being here as usual.
Thank you,
We
sir.
had a break last week because I watched my Mavericks get smoked, but it was worth it. Here we go. None other than Miss. It's me, Jamie.
My bad, I wasn't unmuted. How's everybody doing?
Doing
Doing
great.
well yourself.
It's good. I missed you guys last week, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I actually enjoy, having adult conversation because I don't have it otherwise like I used to. So,
That's crazy.
what do I value most about my friends is their different perspectives and personalities. I do enjoy getting to see how they interact and because I'm kind of like real calm, and so I like to see how my female friends act when they're excited because I'm like, okay, well, I didn't do that, so maybe I need to be a little bit more feminine in that retrospect. So I like I like their different personalities. That's what I like. So
So you're saying that the way that they laugh makes them more feminine? Did I
yeah,
hear
like
that?
for certain things that they do that I wasn't raised around a bunch of girls,
Got it.
right? So like I kind of look at other women like, okay, and there's things that women do innately, because they've been raised around each other that I didn't get to see. And so yeah. So I'm like,
That may
oh,
be
I
a
never
good
did
thing.
that. I try to
It's pros and cons to it.
kind of, but it works on men. Some of the stuff it works. I watch it work on men.
Oh, we're gonna have to see what you're talking about. Hey,
Yeah,
appreciate you for
yeah.
being here. Absolutely. And we're gonna welcome none other than Miss Ash in the building.
Oh, hello. How you doing?
Good.
Hi, everybody.
Go away.
Well, I had to get my cup, man. I don't feel like getting up. But anyway, the thing I love most about my friends is their understanding that
Mm,
I can't come around as often like I used to, working this good bus schedule, and I really appreciate the invites when I do get the invites because sometimes they know that your girl's gonna be out of there. It's gonna be a no. I just like the understanding. But
so,
hope everybody is okay and everybody looks wonderful and well and ready to argue.
oh yeah, absolutely. You don't do a lot of arguing though.
No, I'd rather not. It's beneath me now.
So you learning. Okay. It's
No, no, it's just an act for about 5 minutes. It's
at
just
least you're honest.
yeah.
That's what's up. I'm definitely interested to hear what you got to say. For sure. Hey, and welcome to the stage, none other than Mom of the Year, Miss Tamia.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm
What's going
happy to be here. I have like the butterflies. Um, I what I love about my friends is that they're a true village. Like they show up. My friends will show up, even me being at a distance. So literally about 98% of 99.9% of my friends are in the East Coast. They're in New York. They're in New York or New Jersey. I do not have a friend group in Dallas yet since I've been here for 3 years. I don't have one. And my one friend that I knew from New York that lived here, she moved for her job. so um so I really appreciate how I still feel like I have friends and I moved across the country. So they FaceTime, they call if I have something going on, they're sharing it, they're checking in. They love my boys and I can feel that from a distance. So they truly are a village, near or far. So that's what I love most about them.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you for being here. It's been a minute since you've been on. I know you've been trying to put that
Yeah.
stuff together. You know, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Um, I had to, you ever get a reference from somebody and then they call you and tell you after the fact? Yeah, I
Okay.
got
Are you about to bully me?
nobody even said it was you. Like you just,
No, but you knew what you was doing. Cause you knew
I
what
knew what I was doing.
it's like a big brother that knows what you know what?
I didn't even say it. I didn't even say anything. You didn't even give me an opportunity to say what you want to. You saying is you?
I don't know if it's me.
Now you don't know. Listen, so I get this call. I get this text. Hey, somebody about to call you. Like, like in a minute. Like I
Yeah,
don't even know
I didn't
you.
know it was gonna be a minute. I thought it was gonna be the next
Literally.
business day.
Like I thought it was gonna be like an email
I was
or
still on the
something.
call when I texted you that. And then she said she was going to email. So
Literally, after Tamia texts me, I get a phone call maybe like 2 minutes later. Can you tell me about Miss Tamia? I'm like, sure, you know what I'm saying? So now I didn't even
thank
get to
you.
prepare the lies that I wanted to say. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, ball head.
I was and that's how it started. For sure. But what I would say about friends, though, I like that my friends are honest. They tell me the real of what it is that when I'm doing something wrong, but they also tell me, encourage me when I'm doing something right. So, shout out to the friends that I have that keep it 100 with me. Uh, One of the things that my wife told me is that the reason why I struggle with some of the people getting to know me is because I don't really tolerate BS. Right, and I literally call you. I'm nice on here, but I'm a savage in real life, though. You know what I'm saying? So I try to be able to give people the honest truth, and I want you to do that for me. And so that's why we have these type of dialogues because I think it needs to be had, and the people that I bring on, I believe that you all give a very good perspective that people can take away from. So that's what's up. And one of my accountability partners. What up?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, is your internet working well? Before we get to going.
Yeah, his internet got the 4G, man. Look at him shining. What's happening, Dwayne?
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Beautiful people.
It does. Hey, it look like 2K for sure.
Oh man, I gotta dial it back. That's a little too
Listen, you
close.
got definition and everything.
Bring down that
Ooh.
resolution for you, boy.
Listen, did you put it on credit?
Oh, that's funny. No
Hey,
man, I
listen,
hear you. Good old cash advance.
What are you using?
Uh
filter.
yeah. That's that get right, get tight filter.
Okay. All right.
Whatever it is, it's got automatic focus and it's focusing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's funny.
Hey,
That's
you
good.
ready for the question?
Come on with it.
Hey, the question is, what do you value most about your friends?
Oh man. Dependability. Dependability. You know, whenever you reach out to them, they hitting you back. If they ain't answering right immediately, if you need some stuff done, they're gonna take care of you. If you need an ear to bend, they're right there for you. So that's I keep my circle real tight, but for a reason. Not many people out there dependable. So the ones that are, hold on to them.
That's what's up. Well, appreciate you for making it, man. We're gonna talk about some conversations. I don't think me and you really even talked about this particular one. So this is gonna be interesting to hear your feedback. All right. So we're gonna start with a video that I came across, and I want to kind of get y'all perspective. I think it's about 56 seconds. Where is it? Here we go.
Women are born at the top of the mountain. Men are born in the valleys around it. A man is judged on how high he climbs. A woman is judged on how far she falls. Men have much to gain. Women have much to lose. A man has to prove his worth. A woman has to preserve her worth. Masculinity is built and femininity is preserved.
All right. Y'all need to see it again, or y'all got it? Thumbs up. Got it. Okay, cool.
I
So I
wanted,
want to know what's your thought. What'd you say, Tamia?
I wanted it one more time.
Okay, bet. Let me see.
Women are born at the top of the mountain. Men are born in the valleys around it. A man is judged on how high he climbs. A woman is judged on how far she falls. Men have much to gain. Women have much to lose. A man has to prove his worth. A woman has to preserve her worth. Masculinity is built and femininity is preserved.
All right. So I let my kids watch the video. Right. My kids are ages 6 to 15, and it was a really good talking piece um, to see what their perspective was on it. So I want to see what y'all think. Tamir, you want to go first?
Sure. I agree with it. I do believe that women are born in a sense on top of a mountain. So like when you're female and you're born, you're it's anticipated that you'll be of high stature, right? Like you'll be ladylike, you'll carry yourself well, you will be treated like a queen. I don't know if I'm delayed, but I'm sorry. You'll be treated like a queen or things of that sort. While men have to work for becoming a man. From boy to man, you go through different stages from what I get from it, as to where you build your masculinity. You are always a boy, a man, but you grow that as you go. Women are judged on how they fall. If you raise up your daughter and then your daughter makes a mistake, people are looking at the mistake. They're looking at what she did to tarnish her femininity, what she did to tarnish her value. So that's why women are always on a spectacle. We're always being watched. You're seen, not heard. So that kind of already is putting you on a pedestal, which I would say is a mountain. So I agree, and I do believe that it's preserved. How well can we hold on to the values that we're taught if we are taught them? I definitely can align with that.
That's what's up. Who you got going next?
Dwayne.
Appreciate that, Timmy. Yeah, I look at it as each of the things in which he says you climb and slide. Like the women at the top of the hill, right? It's a slide. So as for their femininity, they could lose it. The things in which they need to preserve, it just goes downhill. So for us, it's a climb. It's a struggle, right? Walking uphill, walking up in an incline, it's a struggle. So men that we face that type of adversity. Well, not to say that women don't, but it's like it's a completely different adversity in which they're holding on to something while we're trying to gain things.
That's what's up. Who you got going next? I'm gonna come back to a question that I had based on what you just said, but who you got next?
Well, Lost, roll that beautiful beam footage.
Thank you, sir. Most men are created. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you learn in the valley. You learn who you are along the way, along the journey. And you have to prove yourself along the way. You know what I mean? You have different rites of passage, that type of thing. And for the most part, I think most women have to make sure that they don't mess up their good name. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you can do to mess up your name along the way. And I think that speaks to the value of a woman. You know, as long as you can preserve Your value, you're gonna be good. Now, the minute that you start allowing things to come into your life that don't benefit you or don't edify you, then in that particular case, you come down that mountain a little bit, you know what I mean, based upon what you allow to happen to yourself. So I would have to agree with the gentleman. Most men have to be built, and most women are just born. I'm gonna
Wow.
go
Okay.
with I'm gonna go with Jamie.
Got it.
And I'm gonna keep my answer simple. I'm just gonna say that I agree with the video. I agree with everybody's answer. And I'm gonna wait for the next question to come around before I give a detailed answer. But yeah, I no, I got something to say because I just thought about it. I do think that giving women automatic value right out of the womb is a disservice to society. I do think that women need to develop some character traits and values because we are seeing that women don't have them automatically. And so they are really at the bottom of the mountain, but they have been elevated to it just because they're female. And it's deceiving. It's deceiving for men too because it's already innately in a man's mind that a woman should be valued, even if she doesn't know that she's supposed to be valued. And so that's what I have to say. And I'm gonna give it to Ash.
Hey, before you go there, so you disagree with the video then?
No, I don't disagree with it. I agree that women automatically have a value um, in the people's minds, not even if they don't have it in their own. Does that make sense? Like I agree with what like that automatic people think that women are. This sounds so bad that women are valuable, but there are some that are not.
There are women that are not valuable. Okay.
Quit acting like you don't know who she talking about. Good grief, you know what she talking about. She talking about the sexy red click and all that over there. You know what she talking about. Quit acting like you don't.
Okay, Ash, so go ahead and respond.
Okay, since she don't want to do it, I disagree because women do need to be built up as well. You can't automatically put these. This is the problem. You then gave all these women this value, but then they talking to men like they trash. Like the topic of discussion. Miss Thing gotta have to go do some IVF just to get what you want, right? But at the same time, you just told men that hey, you at this statue and you can't talk to me. Well, you know what? It's lonely at the top, and they said it. You don't believe it? Now you finna live it, and now you finna bring a child into it. Like at certain time, we gotta get off this BS that all women are high value. Just because you make a certain dollar, that don't make you high value. Because if your mind frame is trash, that's what you are. You hot trash. Because at the end of the day, if a man can't come to you and talk to you and be civil, what's the point? Like, how do you expect to be in a relationship? Like, it shouldn't be a barter system because that's what it has really has came down to the pimp and horse situation. Is like that's the status of today. Like, oh well, if he got this much money, girl, go ahead and get him. But at what time are you valuing yourself? Is that after the check clear or after the cash app done right? Where is your value? So we have to go back and unteach this whore behavior and start teaching ladylike behavior. Because if you have a man that's gonna work, the money gonna come. If he got a vision, stay behind him and work that vision. Everything don't end in turmoil. The turmoil come when your personality or your belief system is kind of messed up. And you're thinking that the money got to come first. Sometimes you can't be on the roller coaster when the money come first. You ain't never got on a roller coaster in the middle to enjoy the end. But I'm done.
What an analogy. So people, okay, so what you just said was a bar. You've never got
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
respond to that, Dwayne. Okay, you've never got on a roller coaster in the middle of the ride to the end. That's crazy. That's true. You've never jumped into the middle of the book and be like, I know what's going on, and I'm gonna go ahead and finish this book. Now people do that to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And be like, man, I wonder what's going on. You confused because you didn't start from the beginning, right? So I would definitely I really appreciate that point, Ash. When I listen to it, I agreed from the position of her value is centered around her sexcapades, really, right? That's the value that the woman has, her virginity. There are other parts of value that she should have that are going to have to be taught, but as it relates to her, what's the word? Her purity, right? Like everybody should try to be pure, but women are looked at way different than men are as it relates to their purity, unfortunately. But that's what it is. I mean, women will say that they don't want community D. However, that's the dudes that they tend to really go towards. And then as it relates to, I come to me, and then as it relates to the men building uh, up to the mountain, it's unfortunate that the mountain is about how much money is it that they're going to obtain that says that they are built men, when in fact your character, your integrity, your moral compass is where you should be aiming towards building. And so I think it's interesting that he said it, but I would have liked to know what the points of value were and what is the man building for. Go ahead, Tamia, what you got?
I think this is really good, and it just sparked a thought for me. Like even what Jamie was mentioning, and I'll connect the dots. But women are definitely. So I put in the chat. I was like, we are born on a mountain that we weren't prepared for. So like it's kind of like a default, right? So like you're a girl at birth. There's already a makeup of what you are supposed to be, how you're gonna act. You're gonna like pink, and you're gonna like same thing for men, but in terms of that stature, where there's a pedestal, like it's there. And then you preserve, which is I think the preservation he's referring to, you preserve that impression on you. um and it is true, like Jamie was saying, she wasn't, like she was like, yeah, we're definitely born on the mountain. But a lot of us don't stay there because it's still a learned behavior. Although everybody assumes that we're born this way, it's still a learned thing. And then what else came up for me is where you get the women that are born on the mountain and then feel like they're going against the grain and empowering themselves by doing the slut walk. Or you have your Amber Roses or your Black Chinas or your Sexy Reds that they're at the top of the mountain, and then they're like, oh, you put me here. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't say I was modest. I didn't say I like things this way. And then they slide down the slope. Or it's even with not in that sense, on another part, just say like even when it comes to when Dwayne was explaining his perception of it, all I could hear is and she did give her life to Christ, thank God. But I just mentioned that because I it's a good like people will know, what I'm referring to, because she did the slut walk with Amber Rose. They were best friends, and that was that movement of women can be sluts. Women don't have to be on the mountain, and that's okay. That's empowering. This unhealthy version of feminism. But what I got is from Dwayne was when he was like, you work up to it, and women kind of like slide down a slope. Think of like virginity. Like women are born and we are meant to like preserve our virginity. Men, virginity could be like, losing your virginity can be part of like entering your manhood. It's not viewed as you gave something away, like even in that sense. So we're born on this where I think you get the women that then say, oh, slut walk and do all that stuff, because like, why does that devalue me but is a trophy for them? I think that's a perfect example of it. If you even look at just how like a woman loses her virginity, how she loses it determines her spot on the mountain. For a man, that's kind of like they're climbing up. It's different viewpoints, climbing up out of the valley. So those were things that came up for me that I thought were pretty cool.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. Lost on you.
I thought about something Ashley said a minute ago, and it sparked something to my mind. Most women who are born at the top choose to walk down that mountain because they're envious of what the men are doing at the bottom. At the bottom, you see guys who gain their accolades at the bottom, and they're being cheered along and they're being praised for the stuff that they do. And what happens is those women look at the top and they're envious of those guys. So they volunteer themselves to walk down to that mountain, to toil with the men, to learn with the men. But at the same time, they lose their preservation of who they are and what their purpose are, chasing what the men are doing. See, the men are actually working in their purpose, but the women have abandoned their purpose in lieu of wanting to be and be envious of what the men are doing. And what it is they want the accolades, they want to be praised, they want to have the recognition, that type of thing. But there are several things that go along that create men to who they are, that speaks to who they are because of the journey that they have to endure. They're choosing to embark on a journey that they don't have to. You see what I'm saying? It'll be the same way if a guy was just placed on the top of the mountain and he didn't work for anything that he worked. You see what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, when you get there and the women be like, there's no substance there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just put you here. And the women are put off by that. And it's the same way when a woman walks down the mountain and then it's like she wants to be a part of the fellas and she wants to say, I work in a male dominated industry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm the top of my class. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. I have a PhD. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. And what happens is they're looking for that recognition for that value. But the thing about it is all they had to do was preserve what they had, and it's an easier climb for them. It's easier to maintain that versus choosing to walk down the hill to be something that you weren't created to be.
Man, that's a really phenomenal take. Like the way that you put it together, you saying that the women are saying, I'm doing nothing here. What they're doing looks way better and more opportunity to get the accolades and the camaraderie, maybe, as well as the applause from people to be here. I would suggest that because I think what Tamia said, I think that uh, most women that respond in that regard don't realize that they're at the mountaintop. I think that they believe that they are in the valley because of whoever taught them prior to told them that you don't need a man, or told them, you know what, you need to work hard and that will give you the opportunity that you would suggest as it relates to having the type of man that you saying that you want, right? And then as it relates to the men, I would say that there are men that don't know how to work well to get up this mountain. You see the men that said, "Oh man, this is a mountain. There's no way I'm about to try to climb this. I have no hopes, no desires because it looks too high to climb." And that is a learned behavior as well, right? But the majority, I would say, are look men in regards to men, that they're looking to at least attempt to climb the mountain. I would say that there are a few men that are just doing absolutely nothing as it relates to that, because I would say that most men are at least trying to work. They may not want to be at the top of the mountain, but they definitely want to have some money in their pocket. They definitely, I would say, most men want to be married. Not saying they know how to be, but most men want to be married, I would say. And I would say that most men are looking to have kids because they want to extend their legacy. So I understand the perspective, but I would say that both of these elements is that men in our culture and women are not being taught what it's like to climb the mountain and what it looks like to preserve it. So that's my thoughts. Anybody have something to say before we move on? Oh, that's a good start right there, man. That's a very good start. So, the topic that we're going to be talking about obviously is why choose single motherhood. And I put the word now because it's in reference to Ebony K. Williams deciding to uh, forego doing it the traditional way and deciding to do it the current way with, because I'm not against how she necessarily, like people that do it that are married because they may have had a hard time getting pregnant. But the situation with her is that she didn't want to be married and she didn't want no man, so she decided to become a single mother. So I'm just asking this question because she seems to think it's a good idea. So let's talk about it, see what you say. What is the value in being a single mother? What is the
Absolutely nothing. There's
listen, listen,
oh my bad.
go ahead. I'm asking because she seems to think that there is, right? That her child is going to have a better opportunity than somebody else. Go ahead, Ash. What you gonna say?
That helper need to be put out her misery. Never mind. Um, there.
He
Let me
said
tell you
that.
something. I say this all the time. There's no value in this. Do you know my stress level is rose? You know what I'm saying? Single motherhood. I don't know who said this was the best hood. I'd rather be part of a gang. Okay, I'd rather be part of a gang. Okay, let me tell you, baby, being a single mother takes you high, low, all in one day. Matter of fact, it can take you there in an hour. Matter of fact, 35 minutes. Okay, there's no, this is not what I would have chose on any level. I have a great support system. Shout out to my support system. But to be a woman and to be alone and to raise a child is the worst thing ever. Because one, like I was trying to explain to my cousins that don't have kids before they embark on this stupidity with the rest of us, you have to make sure that you understand that ain't no days off. Sometimes you can't get to drop your kid off whenever you want to. Sometimes it's work, daycare, home, and you don't have no time with your kid. I know I said it previously. I wish I would have made a better decision for both of them because I wanted that 6 month period that I had with my first one. I didn't get to have that same experience with that. That had to go to daycare after 7 weeks. You know, at the certain time, you have to understand when you bring these children in, you have to actually be a parent. That's why I was saying while we was backstage is who's gonna raise the child? Yeah, you have money, but are you going to raise the child? Because you know when you got money, that means you have a better access. That means you got daycare, you got an in-house nanny, you got all of this. Just because you are a single mother with money doesn't mean that you're actually raising the child. Like I say, I always feel robbed because the daycare have memories of my first one taking steps that I don't have. I just looked up and all of a sudden this child is standing up. Okay, when this happened? You know, you're missing the milestones like that. Somebody else has that. Somebody else know exactly when she start to stand and start trying to step. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand. When I say it's the worst of it is because if you're not mentally stable and you're not really thinking about it, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be drained, you're gonna be frustrated, and whatever man smile at you, you're gonna take it because somebody's showing you adult attention. And sometimes your adult interaction is limited. I remember after I had that, nobody saw me. If you saw me, you were lucky. Because what? It was work, take care of the kids, getting the kids to school, and that's what it was. Because I was driving to two different daycares because my oldest one daycare didn't have an opening for fat. So I had to get up extra early, get in traffic, and then fight. And if everybody know, if you in Houston, 610 is a beast early in the morning. So that's why I say it's the worst hut. Ain't no really no value in it. The only value is you see your kids grow up and actually be productive people. They're not contributing to the negative end of the single motherhood, but it's really not a value because all the stress falls on you. And I just feel for those that don't have a good support system where they can actually leave their kids with somebody and be trustworthy. Or they have to go to those rinky dink daycares that you know they ain't doing right by your kid, but you have no choice because of the limited income. That's why I always say, and I tell my kids this, if you don't like what I'm doing and this is what you see, don't join the club. Don't join the club. This is not for the weak because I have to be available. I have to be emotionalist sometimes because I want to overreact when my child is telling me a story about what's going on, but it doesn't call for that reaction. It's causing me to listen. I need to listen because what was my child came home and said some little boy had touched. I said, "What you mean touch? What happened?" You know, I'm ready to dislocate somebody's shoulder or something with a pop. But it was they was playing and he got aggressive and she didn't like it, you know. That's all it is. My oldest, she liked to be in charge. And that's all it is. She didn't like the fact that the kid wasn't listening to her, you know. But it just takes another level of maturity and a lot of people don't have it. And I'm gonna kick it off to Dwayne because he ain't been here in a while, and I just want to hear him say, "I appreciate that."
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. I love. Sound like you're speaking from experience there. That came from the heart. I felt it. So I'm gonna take a little different angle because the value that I say I'll say there is no value, but I'll go from the other side. I think there's a huge value, and the value is pride. Being able to say I did it, and I did it without a man. Yeah, you sure did, right? But then there's the fact of whenever you are in a relationship and you don't desire to have to listen to somebody else or receive feedback from somebody else or even the correction or direction from somebody else, guess what? Hey, I could do this by myself. I don't have to go through that. So some people have that mindset as well. Like I could, when they say I could do bad by myself, that may be just how they are feeling, right? Because they don't get to do what they want to do when they want to do it. But then they jump out there realizing that the grass ain't greener, but they will stick it through and punish themselves and punish them kids just to prove a point. So the pride piece of it is what I'll say some people that value in being a single mother.
That's an interesting take. Who you got going?
Jamie, come on with it.
All right, y'all. So hold on, let me fix my keyboard.
She about to get
There is no value in being a single mother. Now, in a way, I chose not to deal with my son's father because of several different mental health issues, right? And it would not have benefited me or my son to be in that environment. That's a choice that I had to make, right? But if I was young and irresponsible, I wouldn't have picked laying down with him in the first place. But he looked good on the outside. He was older. He had some money. I thought I was like winning. Okay. I'm being real. I thought I was winning. And then I realized too late, I was not winning. Was not winning in the situation. Wasn't a good idea, but I wasn't going to not keep the child. Right. And I wasn't even looking. I wasn't even looking to be serious with the person. Right. I wasn't. So being a mother, one was a choice. Being a single mother, again, was a choice too, because I could have been with the father. I don't like it. I don't like that I had to do everything by myself. Like, I don't like it. I even had to snap on my son yesterday where I was like, bruh, I just needed 15 minutes to myself to take a walk around the track. But you keep calling me when I'm in the middle of taking care of myself. You feel me? Like, and so I don't have nobody to help me to pick him up, to do anything. I have to work around this child is my entire life. This is it. This is my life right now. I am Elijah's mom. I'm not even Jamie. I am Elijah's mom. I'm Jamie on here, but people know me as Elijah's mom. So with that being said, if I would have been wiser and taught a little bit better or just even observed a little bit more, I would not have chose to be a single mother. No, I would have closed my legs. I would have chose a better man and I would have been married and happy with kids in a house where we actually parent together, where I'm not stressed out and my cortisol levels is high and I can't wear crop tops because I got a little fupa. And that's it.
Gary, you better put that on. Lizzo said we could
I
put
had to
those
say
on.
that one because I'm on a mission
Did you
right now.
say Lizzo said?
Lizzo said we could put that on. Don't play us. We can put it whatever we want on. We can put whatever we want.
You give such a dope soliloquy and then quote a ratchet.
Hey, look. She said she couldn't put the crop top on. I'm trying to let her know she can put it on.
Thank
Baby,
you.
everybody got fat back
Yeah,
rolls out and everything. It's
I don't
summertime.
have any
Hot.
feedback, bro.
Well, I do
Thank you.
apologize. After going out and being on that cruise, I realized, hey, them back rows still back there. You need butter.
Did you say you need butter?
After showing out today.
she,
You
she
need
is.
some self care there. My
Jamie,
goodness.
what you got
Don't do
going?
yourself like that.
I got Tamia.
Okay. So I'm first gonna say I'm not a single mom, but I do come from a single mother, and I do have friends or that I love that are single mothers, and I will say they do the damn thing. I don't know how they do it. I don't feel that I could do it, because it takes another level of strength, and perseverance and mental stamina to do so, being that I'm not a single mother and I have two sons and I am struggling on strings. um so I just want to commend single mothers, but commending them doesn't mean that I'm praising it. So what I take from it is, um like Ash said, like Jamie said, there's this, you're doing a wonderful thing, right? So you get value in the fact that you are raising your child, you are raising your children, and it is you that is protecting and nurturing them. Yes. But I don't see a value in single motherhood enough to choose to do that. I honestly think that everybody has their own right. But going ahead, like what Miss Ebony Williams is like glamorizing what shatters some women's hearts every day. I think that that truly glamorizes what has broken a culture, a community, of a vow, a promise from God. I think that it glamorizes it, and I don't think that it should be something that's on the cover of a People's magazine. I think that, um, it should be an option. I think that, yes, like I'm not saying women shouldn't do it at all. If you want, that is the life you choose, but to sit and plaster it and glamorize it, I think it's an agenda. I think that it is further pushing for our black girls and our black women to not want to marry, to not find it necessary to marry, to not find it necessary to go through any of the mountain top requirements and standards that God has set for us, because the mountaintop was given by God. Like that stature, that idea of what we're supposed to be, that was given by God. Eve didn't go to, like, it wasn't in there for Eve to go get a diploma and do a job and work a field. In Proverbs 31, a woman definitely does work, and she takes care of her families and things like that, but it is not because she said, I'm going to do it because I want to do it because I can and I'm in competition. Like it's not that. She knows her place. She knows her values. She knows her roles. She takes care of a home. She doesn't have to worry about her children. And she does all of that with a husband, caring for a husband. So I don't see a value in it personally.
That's what's up. Thank you for your take. Who you got? Is it on loss? Let's go, sir.
You know what? I think single mothers rob themselves of the joy that they possibly could have. Even in Proverbs 31, her husband praises her in front of her kids. So how can you have somebody to praise you? You know what I'm saying? If nobody does that for you, because if you do praise yourself, it seems like it's self-grandization, and nobody really takes that serious. You see what I'm saying? My whole thing is this: there's really not a whole lot of value in it, and I'll tell you why. Because they're missing a lot of stuff. To steal something from Jamie a minute ago, she said she just needed to get some time. Well, think about it as if more women were married, they would have more time to develop themselves. You see what I'm saying? And to become better mothers, to become better wives, because they would actually have the time that they needed. Believe it or not, men enjoy playing with their children. They enjoy teaching their children. They enjoy watching their children grow. You know what I'm saying? They like to take them on little missions they like to go on. Men are natural born teachers. A lot of times, we hear this thing where they say that women are the child's first teacher. That may be true, but I'll tell you, the father is the teacher that teaches them a lot of things that it takes time to do over time. You see what I'm saying? So my whole thing is this: when women don't have the time to develop themselves, they actually limit the amount of potential they can have amongst themselves. I'll give you an example. There was an experiment that was done where they put a bunch of fleas in a jar. Now, normally a flea can jump about 5 feet, high in the air. You know what I'm saying? No problem. That's what they do. But what happens is when you put those fleas in a jar, they learn to only jump so high. Well, the problem is once those fleas have been in a jar for a while, you can take it off, they're not jumping out of there. And I think sometimes what happens with single moms, they get stuck in a position where they only jump so high because of their conditioning, because of their circumstances. I got bills to pay. I don't have time to develop myself. That's the reason why normally they only stay about a certain age range, because that's where they have to be proficient to teach their children. So what happens is when a man tries to find a wife, he has to choose from a single mom, there's a little bit of arrested development there. And to be honest, there's a little bit of turnoff. Most men like women who are well-grown, well-developed, so they can bounce ideas off of them. Well, if you have someone who has a younger mindset, it makes it difficult to have those conversations that would allow that man to help himself or help his family along the way with the mission and the design for the family. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. A woman's original assignment is to assist the man. Well, if the woman handicaps herself with children and all she does is makes the children her world, then where is she proficient in assisting her husband? In this particular situation with Ebony K. Williams, it's a little bit of sour grapes. What happens is she's telling everybody else that, I choose to be a single mother, when in essence, she's a flea who can't jump past the side of the jar. And what happens is that she can't find somebody because she's been trained to not value men for who they are. I heard a statement says a long time ago, what you respect will come to you. What you don't respect will leave away from you. And the problem with her is that she don't respect men in general. And that's the reason why she says, I don't need a man. But if you think about it, at the beginning of her story, it was always, hey, I would date the bus driver if, he owned the bus. So the man was always in the equation. But now, since she doesn't have the ability to obtain a man that she, quote unquote, values, or someone who wants to deal with her, what happens is she puts on this little stunt or this little show. And she says that, hey, women, there are other options out there that are available to you. When in essence, that's pretty much the last option available to you. You see what I'm saying? And IVF is the absolute last option. I don't know about you, but my thing is this: you got people who are poor all over the world who make babies no problem. But for some reason, when you get a certain lot of money, a certain level of notoriety, a certain level, a level of cachet about yourself, then all of a sudden the normal ways of making babies seem to go away. It's like I stated earlier, it's the case of sour grapes, and you're just trying to make the best out of the position you are. So you're going to tell everybody else how great it is on your side of the wall, when in essence it's not. And I'll assure you, at late at night, she is shuddering to think that one day her child's going to ask her, Mom, how come you didn't love me enough to get me a dad? And I'm done.
Man, that's what's up, bro. I really thought that was a very interesting take. Hey, Miss Wife School, how you doing today? Shout out to you for making it. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to stream to my channel too. How are you guys doing? I'm doing very well. I was just listening from on my way to work. I'm at work. Definitely the single mother thing is, it's a disadvantage to the woman because it really takes two people to raise a child. It takes the DNA of the people that made that child to raise it. Because you may have come from a good, stock of family, but maybe the man you laid down with, they got a history of mental health. And so now when this child start acting out, you're like, oh my God, that's why they say you act like your daddy. You ain't gonna be nothing like your daddy, because they can identify certain characteristics that are in that child. And it makes sense for the father to deal with them because they can recognize, hey, he looks like me or she's acting just like me. Um, I think that just, looking at the Bible, like when women got ahead of themselves, when they put the cart before the horse, things didn't turn out right. Okay. you know, um, Sometimes our rushing and trying to do things on our own timeline and or out of our timeline, we really mess things up for us. Like you guys were talking about the mountain, we start slipping down and we lose our footing, and there's no way to get back up there. Sometimes when a road closes, the rocks cave in and there's no way to get there. There's no way to get out. Sometimes you get trapped. And I don't think we have a lot of people, as was said, telling us to avoid these pitfalls. Don't go down the mountain. Don't go that way. Stay here. But yet you have society telling women that it's okay to go on the slut walks, to express yourself, go out there, have tons of sex with men, and get it in while you're young, because when you're old and you got the ball and chain, you can't do anything else. So that's really not the proper way to go about um, being a woman, and especially the woman of God, because they say all the preachers' kids, they're the freak kids, but they're the ones that have the most knowledge about sex and the spirituality behind it, the importance behind it. It's not just an act, it really is a spiritual combination of two people that are supposed to love each other and submit to one another in a covenant.
That's good. I appreciate that take. Somebody may have something else to say, but I would say that they're agreeing with you all that there is no. Could I really say that there is no value? Um, there might be some somewhere, right? There may be some level of value. I mean, from the woman's perspective, the value to her is I think somebody said, I get to do this by myself, and I get to mold my child into who it is I want them to become. And I don't have to worry about a man to do it. I would say that I think that I'm gonna guess here. I'm gonna say that most women don't want to be a single mother. However, their behavior doesn't suggest that. It's similar to, people say, well, I want to lose weight. I'm sure you want to lose weight, but your behavior says that you don't, right? I'm sure you want to be successful in a business, but your behavior says that you don't, right? So it is the situation of where if you really want to be something, you're going to have to put in work to become what it is that you want to become. I think it's similar to when we talk about the woman being at the top. Uh, there are some single women that would say that they are at the top because they're able to raise a kid by themselves and they didn't need a man. But I would suggest if they would look at the stats and people would talk to uh, girls, young ladies, about what does it look like to be a single mother, even to the point of saying, listen, this is something that's not going to do you a service at all. And not to mention, you're about to ruin somebody else's spouse. See, I think I think that most people don't look at it from the perspective of that they're raising somebody else's husband and wife. Well, and so if you understand it from that perspective, shout out to Kirk Cameron. He said, if we would see ourselves as raising somebody's husband and wife, we would probably do things a little bit different. I know for me, it made things work. My mindset work a little different. And I was raised by a single mom, and I see things that she taught me, but I also see the absence of me not understanding when I was a man, right? And so the value that I got from her, I believe I could have gotten the same, in the sense of the one thing that she taught me was to work hard, uh, to treat people well, and to go for what it is that I want, right? And I believe that I could have got that if I had them together potentially, right? Because I would have been able to see the dynamics between a man and a woman together. But I do understand if the guy is not like, I want to put it like this is the question that I want to ask. Is the woman a single mother if she was married and now they're no longer together? Would you consider her, because I had to explain this to somebody, would you consider her a single mother or she's just the mother of his child? What you got, Lost?
Absolutely not. If she was married, that means she had some type of value, you know what I'm saying, to her husband at some point in time. And it just didn't work out. What we're talking about is women who are choosing to be single mothers, who refuse to do the work to be wives. You know, sometimes you'll have women who are widowers, you know, kind of in the case of my mom, where, you know, my dad passed away, but she still has the values of a wife. You see what I'm saying? It's the same with women who've been married before. You know, at some point in time, you know, they had a particular value before, you know, they had kids. You see what I'm saying? So it's a totally different animal when it comes to stuff like that. I'm going to go with Ash on this one.
Can you repeat the question? My mind kind of went idle.
Oh, no worries. I think we talked about this one time, and even I don't know if y'all don't be in the chat or not, but Prototype even said he said it like this. He said that she's still a single mom. She's just not a baby mama. Now, would you agree with that statement? Do you believe that if she was married and then they are no longer together, but the dad is still in their is still there, versus she wasn't married and she had the kid?
Okay, I have a question into that question, but
Yeah,
I'm going to answer it like this.
okay.
See, my problem with that is the dad active or he's just present? The reason why I say that is because I've dated somebody that didn't have a good relationship with their dad, but they folks was married, right? It
Mm,
was always a problem. It's not one of those underlying problems to where it's like a altercation every time you see each other, but you know it's not your normal family dynamic. See, so that's why I say I would have to question that because is the dad present or is he not? I'm just taking it another level because she could see herself as a single mom because the dad is not participating. He's not doing anything. So I guess I would say it would be determined by the type of relationship that the father has with the kids. Because I can't, because I've never been there, almost, but never been. I can't say that she doesn't feel that way or she cannot be viewed that way, you know, because a lot of people think just because you're married means yeah, whatever. I ain't going there because I ain't never been there, so I can't speak on it. But I would just say if he if he is present, I don't consider her a single mother because I think, and I know this for a fact, people like to take on the single mother as it's a badge, like an employee name. They like to stick it on there for some type of recognition. I don't understand it, and again I'm not even working within myself trying to understand this because at the end of the day, you shouldn't want the next woman to go through what you're going through because at the end of the day, that bed is empty over there. When them kids get sick, that's on you. When them kids need this and that and you don't have it, you got to figure out a way out of tomorrow. So I don't understand this badge that they putting on as single mother because like I said, if I could get out the hood, I would, but I can't. I'm in this thing. I'm in the trenches. But to me, it would just depend on that husband and wife situation because what I have what I have found is everybody like to fit these new age vocabulary words and they like to stick them on and they don't like to take them off. So I'm going to go with
That
the
was
wife school podcast.
White school. That was good, Ash.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was good because I'm in that similar situation too. I was married. There was infidelity, and then there was a divorce after a period of time, and I take care of the children. But I have 50-50. So I'm not saying I'm trying to take these kids now from this man. No, they're his children too. And then there's the like the aspect of the being present, or you just know that you have a dad. They know that they have a dad, but the presence and the activeness is way more important. I've heard from another content creator that children spell love as time, time. They need that time. Just knowing that you have your father is not enough. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in there. You got to be active, and sometimes relieve the mom, things like that. But even though I had my children in my marriage, I do feel I have the load of and attributes of a single mom. Even though if a man comes to me now and asks me, well, how do you have these kids, and things like, what's your situation? I think saying that them coming from a marriage, he would respect me a little bit more and say, well, okay, she has some sense in her brain, to have a value enough to have children within the covenant, as opposed to a woman that has 4 children by 4 different men. Like, okay, girl, you just out here loosey goosey. So even though I did have my children within the marriage, and I'm not in that marriage, I still feel the weight of being, the one that really takes care of the children. And it's very tough. And I don't try to wear a badge. I know that I have my limits as a woman. I can't teach a man how to be a man, as Humble Dad said. Like, he needs to feel that, like, I don't have testosterone. I don't have those things. So I would never be able to speak to that in my sons. And also I can only, there's a limitation of showing love to a daughter. She needs to see that in her dad, because that's going to be her first love, and he's going to give her the game of how to avoid the knuckleheads out here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't want to hear from the mom, but they will respect the dad and the authority of the dad that's needed. So it's horrible.
That's what's up. Thank you for your statement. Who you got going next?
Sorry, I'm gonna choose Mr. Dwayne Jones.
Let's go.
Oh man, appreciate that. So I take it the question is, are after a marriage or split up,
I can
is
keep it simple. What makes a single, like, how would you define a single mother?
a single mother is a woman that does not have the father of her child in the home under a covenant, within a covenant. That's how I define it. So if there is that split, and there is no man in the house to bring what the values in which a man brings, you are single. You're having to take on the burden of doing things by yourself. And I'll even put it like this: how I look at it, how push push back, or how much the word you what you were saying earlier about the things in which you were missing, HD, from not having the father in the home. I call those deficiencies. So the deficiencies that come from not having the man in the home is very apparent, as much as you try to balance it out. And I'll even put it like this: if the Bible says that the woman is the weaker vessel, how much more is it whenever you're having to bear the load by yourself? How much more? So in that, it's like, now a lot of deficiencies will be spread around. Now, I'll also say it like this as well: whenever the man is whenever the woman decides to leave, that's another scenario. The man will pull back, and he will now dust himself off, pick himself up, and then gone and start fresh, right? He's not, in many instances, he's not looking back. So in that, the emotional support that you're going to get from him is limited. What he's going to be concerned about is them children, if he's a good man. So in that regard, man, yeah, you single. you single. And your best bet is to start pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start being that woman, that wife that somebody needs.
That's what's up. That's a good take, bro. Who you got going next?
Tamia, come on with it. You went yet? No, she ain't went yet.
No, I didn't go yet. Thank you. I would say that, I mean, Dwayne said it. I feel like once you lose that support in house or just in general from the father, you are a single mom. Um, I cannot compare any experience I've had to being a single mother, but there was a phase where my husband and I were not coexisting, and I had to literally, he was staying elsewhere. I had to pick up my kids, drop them off in the morning in South Dallas, then drive to North Dallas to be at Hillcrest, wake up at 5 a.m. to do that and drop them off with their dad so they could spend their day with their dad while I taught, and then drive back to South Dallas from Hillcrest in North Dallas to pick them up and go back to our apartment that had both our names on it and get the kids ready for bed and go to sleep and all this, like that felt treacherous. It was for a good, couple months, 1 or 2 months, and that felt treacherous. I cried like every night because it was draining. Like that weaker link that Dwayne is referring to. If we already do this with hopes to do it with a partner. Like we don't, more than likely, you don't do this. It's very rare that a woman is just like, yeah, I want to take care of kids by myself. No help, no break, all alone, by myself, without anybody to tell me I'm doing a good job, without anybody to say, hey, let me pick this up for you, let me do this, or put them in the tub while you're cooking dinner, or whichever, just be a helping hand. No one does that. So I feel like from the moment that you start handling that by yourself, whether it's for half and half time of the day or whichever, it's no longer as a team. So you are single, you are singular in that. And how you got there, honestly, I think you eventually end up feeling that same weight. Unless, of course, the dad takes like, oh, I'll take them on the weekends. But it's still the mom holds that heavy weight. I'm married, and there are days I feel tired. And my husband, he does a lot more than a man will like to do, just because that's how he is. Like, he will wash a dish if he sees that I've done a billion things for the day. He will put them in the tub if I have the podcast after I make the dinner. I'm so grateful to God for that, because I also see men in my own family that's like, I'm West Indian. That ain't my job. I ain't doing that. I want, like there are literal men that will be like, no, I'm not bathing the kids. No, I'm not doing the dishes. So in marriage, you can feel like a single parent. But with the 8 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks that I got when we couldn't coexist, I said, oh heck no. I said we can make it work. We can make it work, and that was enough for me. And that's why I say I commend. I could never complain, because my husband does help me a lot, but I feel like once that man slips out, that weight is heavy. Heavy, even if it's for the nighttime, it's heavy. So yeah, I think you're still a single mom, even if you were
Thank,
married.
thank you for your take. Oh wow! Even if you're married, you can be a single mother. What a take! All right. Uh,
Wait, let me
you,
rephrase. Let me rephrase. They have a father. I meant, even if you were married and then got
oh,
separated and
okay,
you
okay,
end up by yourself, you are a single mom.
okay. Got you, got you, got you. You talking about outside of covenant? That's what. Same thing with Dwayne said. Who you
Yes.
got going next? Is it-
Jamie didn't go.
Yeah, I really don't have anything to add to this though. I'm gonna wait till the next question. Y'all answered everything. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say?
The question was, which one do you? When is a person? When is she considered a single mother?
Uh, Everybody answered the question though.
Yeah,
Like
but we don't know what your perspective is, though.
Dwayne's perspective. Dwayne gave my answer. You
Well,
feel me?
you didn't
Like
say that. You just said everybody. You didn't say that. You didn't.
there's a
You
little
didn't
list
choose
of
a
little
side at
things.
all.
There's a little
You
tinge of
literally did
answer
not choose a
everybody.
side, Jamie.
Why you being
James,
good?
I'm gonna pick you after me next time so you don't be left
Yeah, I
out.
didn't have nothing to add. I was just in there like, okay, well, that was part of my answer. Boom, that it was my answer. I was like, okay, well, when it comes to me, I'm
What
just
part
gonna
of
say
his answer did you appreciate
My goodness.
the most?
I
He's an
appreciate it.
educator, y'all. He gonna keep asking. He's
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah, he
educator. He's
is.
gonna keep asking.
What part of the like his answer that I agree with, or
Yeah.
the entire
Which
thing as far
part
as like the
of his
single mother
answer stood out the most to you?
that is somebody that is a like had a kid outside of a covenant that did stick with me like the most. It's true. A marital covenant is important, and so that's why I think the standard is the same. It's a biblical standard. for me, even though I didn't do that. I'm just saying that that's will be my standard that I would hold myself to too.
See, you had an answer in
Yeah,
you.
I'm a single mom. You feel me? Like
I,
Mm.
I don't want to be.
Hey, have y'all
what? Say,
see,
can somebody clip that for me?
oh, hold on. Have y'all been hearing that song that's been going on about the single mom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My goodness, my goodness.
What
What's the
song?
song? What world am I
Brandon
living
Jamal.
in?
Oh
Brandon
my
Jamal.
goodness. Boy,
Now you a
that
single mom.
boy, that boy out there, he is no mercy. He ain't got no mercy. Okay.
I ain't heard it yet. I'm gonna have
It's,
to.
it's
Oh, he
viral.
got many versions of that song.
Oh
Wait a
yeah.
minute. Is it the guy that's talking about his childhood was horrible? Wait a minute. Is it that guy? Because I saw
No.
a
No,
clip the other day.
He got remixes for everybody's stuff. It's like a mixtape. He
different
got a
genres.
song.
But
Yeah. He got a song that
I
goes,
like it.
you got 2 kids and
You
2
like it?
baby daddies. You a
Yeah,
single mom.
I don't sing it, but it's kind of genius
It
because
is
brilliant. Brilliant.
because it's like it's a neat little way to address the problem that women are putting themselves into. And okay, let's make a song out of it because you obviously you twerk and do everything else. So why not let's clown it and make it satirical? You know, holding a
No
stack of
mercy.
diapers, but it's really bad. It really is. It's bad that we have to have a little mini anthem for single mothers.
Mhm.
I
It's
don't
bad.
understand
It's
the glorification.
destroying our community. Like,
We
it's
got
bad.
to stop the glorification. That's all it is.
that's
Everybody
what he's trying to
glory.
do. Yeah.
We got
It
to
is
stop
kind
it.
of cool
I
though.
don't. I don't glorify it. I be looking at my kids like, y'all need to go to y'all dad's house. They're like, we ain't going nowhere. I'm like, I know.
But you know what? The women always making a jab at the men, talking about "f my baby daddy" and all this stuff. And now a man is just simply
Take it back.
Congratulating them on being a baby
putting some
mom.
Right.
lyrics. You know, hey,
It's crazy.
Think about it. Fantasia had a song a long time ago. This goes out to all my baby mamas.
Yes, she
Remember that?
did. Yes, she
She did
did.
have that song.
She did.
And now all
That's
of a
what I
sudden,
was
you
singing
got
back
2 kids
here.
and 2 baby daddy. You a single mom. It's got a beat to it. I'm telling you, it's got a bop
Yeah,
to it, man.
oh
We
man.
That
done
being
said
said, I'm
God
gonna
on
ask
it.
this as a yes or a no, and then I'm gonna have a last question. Should single moms have baby showers? Get baby showers. All right, we're gonna start with Lost, then we're gonna go Ash, Dwayne, Tamia, it's me, Jamie, and then the Wife School podcast. Should a single mother get a baby shower? Well, when you
You,
lost,
you know, the kids need stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think they should probably have a registry. But as far as a shower or a celebration or something like that, that's a no for me, man.
okay,
Because to me it glorifies dysfunction, and it also low key devalues the man's participation in this particular situation. It's pretty much the same way Ebony K. Williams is now taking all these pregnancy pictures, you know what I'm saying? And there's no dad, you know. It's glorifying, single motherhood, and it's also destroying men at the same time. We already know men are the pillars of the community of the world. And for them to low key take a jab at men, I don't think it should be celebrated. Now, here's the thing: in our community, oh yes, that's what we do. Since we can't have a wedding or bridal shower, we go all out for baby showers. You know what I'm saying? They have, gender reveals and all type of madness and party games and gifts and stuff like that because they haven't done the work to be a bride. So they go all out for the baby showers. Now, as far as whatever they decide they want to do, that's fine. But I'm not coming to your baby shower. Matter of fact, I might not give you a gift. You know what I'm saying? Because I think you probably need to feel that sting a little bit. But when the kid gets here, I might have a soft heart. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're not gonna lean on me like that. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to lean on your village like that. And after a while, people don't really tell the single moms that, hey, you getting on my nerves because they got this badge of single mom. So they're gonna say, oh, you're doing a great job, you're a single mom, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, I assure you, your community is sick of you but they don't want to say it because they don't want to come off as a curmudgeon. Now, as far as throwing a baby shower, no. But as far as helping the kid, I'll say yes. And I'm gonna go with Jamie this time since we
No, no,
used
no,
up.
no. No.
Oh, we don't want to go with Jamie.
I already set the order. Already.
Oh man,
No,
go
Oh
go ahead.
ahead.
my goodness.
Okay, I apologize. No.
It's
Let
yes
me-
or no, Jamie. It's yes or no. This easy one. This easy one.
That's my fault. That's my fault because I remember that statement lost. I apologize. That is true. So I'm a man of my word. Jamie, on you.
You know what's so crazy is I actually agree with Loss. Like, I do not think they should have baby showers. Now, listen, like getting you something you need, you get a registry. I fully agree with that. I didn't want a baby shower. I didn't want no baby pics. I wasn't trying to glorify being a single mom at all. I didn't want them to have any memories of the fact that I had to make or like be in this situation like this. I just didn't want to remember it. And I think the reason why I only have one kid and I only did it one time to myself is because I made sure that I really toughed it out so that I wasn't coddled or somebody helped me so much that I was like, oh, I could have another kid. You know what I'm saying? It was so hard that I was like, oh, nah, I'm not doing. No, ma'am, no, sir, not again, right? And so I did. There needs to be like a little bit of a punishment because you were out of order. You were doing something that's out of order. My mom was not happy. I was grown. I was 21, but she was upset, and she made sure she let me know every day. I cannot believe. I cannot believe. I was like, okay, well, you got to believe it because it's like it's happening. Okay, right? But that shame that I felt helped me change. That shame that she did, I mean, like it really did help me go, okay, this is not gonna be my life. I'm not gonna be having more than one kid. I'm not gonna be I'm just trying to live with a man. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So I agree with Loss. Like that's real. The reason why people keep having more than one kid is because we making it easy for them. We make it easy for them to have more than one kid. So that's what I feel.
That's what's up. Who you got next? Since I go back to my platform, how we do it. Somebody said they want to go next, but it's up to you to decide.
I think Tamia want to go next. Her eyebrows is high, and she didn't.
Eyebrows are high.
My eyebrows are at the back of my head at this point. I am going to say that this is circumstantial to me. Like this is circumstantial to me. I'm gonna just lay it there. If you said I'm gonna lay down, have this baby by myself, be irresponsible, okay, I can get why it should not be glorified. We should not be showering you as though you did something right. Now, I am also on a side where I do not feel that any woman should be left alone. Like there are circumstances, and that is a moment where if she's gonna do this whole dang thing by herself, we can at least let her know she has a. I think baby showers show your village. I think a baby shower is not just for show and all this other stuff. I think that is a moment that you get surrounded by loved ones. At least for me, it was. My husband and I were not married when I got pregnant with Amir. I was 21. He had just graduated college. 3 days later, Amir was here 3 days after the baby shower. It was all in the same week. Okay. But we felt tremendously loved. We knew we wanted to be married, but we were not married. I would have crashed and burned internally if my family said, we are not going to hold you and surround you in this season before you bear your first child because the way that you decided to make a mistake, not make mistakes, but you decided to fumble. It's that thing with the woman on the mountain. We slide, we slip. Does that now mean that you guys can't show up for me? That's why I said it's circumstantial. If you have a woman that's like, hey, yeah, I had this baby, and now you're about to help me raise this baby, it's our baby. No, I'm not throwing you no baby shower. You're signing me up for something I didn't sign up for. But there are so many circumstances of like, I wasn't taught better. I laid down. I had the situation. Like Jamie, we get it. Like your mom was like, no, you did something terrible. But like you didn't need to hear that every day, regardless. You did not. You did not need to have that pushed in your face your entire pregnancy. You needed a mother that was going to show you. You know, like we need mothers. You and I have had personal conversations about motherhood and things like that and maternal relationships. But like, yes, be honest, hold me accountable. But if I'm going to love this child, please do not contribute to what might cause my postpartum depression. Psychologist here. Please do not make me feel more alone than I already feel. Like I know, I get it. So I don't think it is detrimental or terrible or a big hard no, especially if it's a young mom that the guy like he was good. It's not marriage, it's not a covenant, but this guy put on a show. There's so many circumstances where he's like, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna do this, and then he drops the ball, and now you're by yourself. I think that is when at most your friends, your family. It doesn't have to be big and extravagant. It could be in your living room, but bring the registry to my house. I don't know. Make the registry and at least sit with me and say, hey, don't do this again. But we're here. We are not here to raise your child, but I think a baby shower is a very prominent moment where a mother feels like I am not by myself. So I'm throwing the baby shower. That could just be because of how much I advocate for understanding that women end up in situations, and at the end of the day, putting them out on a stake doesn't always solve the issue. It may make it worse. And just knowing as a Black woman how high our rates are for depression, for postpartum depression, and if she's dealing with a terrible baby father situation, oh no, I'm not. I don't want to add to it. She may have laid down and made her bed, but I don't find pleasure or joy or find it always fit to sit there and like, no, I don't know. I feel like you can have a baby shower. We don't have to make it seem like what you did is great. Yeah, single mama, you better get it. You about to raise this baby right? No. Hopefully you find a husband. I pray you find a husband, sis. Or I pray that man gets delivered and he brings his way back to you and y'all make this right. But in the meantime, you need some diapers, you need some cute clothes to at least, because that baby's gonna need that mom. That baby is going to need that mom. And I stand by. I've suffered postpartum depression. When you are not 100%, you are not okay. That baby is not getting all of their mom. And if their mom is all they have, and that mom is already the weakest link, I promise you, they do not need radio silence. They do not need radio silence. And that is my stance on it.
So what you got going next?
The Wife School podcast.
Well, I think I'll be a little bit more gracious, even though the circumstances, like she said, may be what they are. A life is being born no matter what. As much as you want to slay the mother, crucify her, turn her, burn her up, like there's a life with inside of her, and all children are a gift from God. So at some point, you just have to ease up a bit. It's already enough stress, whatever the circumstances around it, it is what it is. Me, I would say the first baby shower is acceptable. Now, people that try to have a baby shower for all 6 of your kids, no. Okay, now we done had it, sis. And I just cannot get with that, because if you didn't learn after the first one enough to value yourself, to secure a decent guy, or better the situation, or get with the father, or say, hey Chuck, we gotta go down the aisle, let's go to the courthouse. If you didn't value yourself enough to try to get in a relationship, a stable relationship, for that child and yourself, I'm not going to any more baby showers, unfortunately. That recently just happened this past weekend, and I did stay home because I just was like, man, I don't know, it made me sad. It made me sad on the inside, but I think every woman um, should have experienced a first baby shower, because it's their first time. I know that they're scared. You're gonna need all those supplies. You're not gonna want to be running around depending on your body is healing. Some people have cesareans. They can't move too much. They can't lift too much. Everything needs to be around them to care for themselves and the child. So I'm down for the first one. But if she's still a single mom and is in a baby mama situation, no.
Okay, who
Totally
you?
agreed.
Wait,
I
you
stand by that.
you gotta wait to be. All right, the wife school. Who you got going next?
Okay. I would like to call upon Miss Ash.
I don't know what for. Here you go. I will support and I might even host because that's normally my role is the hostess. But I'm gonna tell you like this: we're gonna have a background conversation. You're not gonna like what I have to say because me, I learned it too. Cause me and my sister used to be neck and neck. It used to be me domino first, then she domino second. I stopped it too. I said, "This right here, this ain't for me no more. I can't do it." So all these people want to have these 57 kids. Yeah, I'm gonna come, eat your food, bring you a nice little gift, bring you some diapers, cause it's most likely that's what you're gonna need. I might pick up a little cute outfit every now and again, but I'm gonna tell you just like this here, baby. When everything's done and all the lights go off, I'm not gonna ruin your day, but we're gonna have a talk about this. We're gonna have a serious long conversation because if I went first and Fat is 10 and you ain't learning from the single motherhood that I'm going through, and I know I share my experience with you, we're gonna have a serious conversation about what you trying to do. Cause one, this not for the weak. And if anybody's just going through it just the shower, just for the shower, because that's the party, baby, have an adult party somewhere. Because sometimes that's what they turn into, okay? Like we have to stop with the foolishness for real. At the end of the day, I understand you need the help, whatever, because every kid deserves to be showered love. You need that time, because I ain't gonna lie, that postpartum depression and then trying to go right back into work is a mug. If anybody has done it, I done it, and it's not good. And I had just lost my grandfather at that time, so you can just imagine what that felt like, losing a life, the ring of life in only what I think I want to say about 2 weeks later. So I was a roller coaster. And then find out when I got back to work, a job change ensued all in the mix. Yeah. It to me, that's why I said single motherhood, if you can't work it out, be apart. But if he's still helping, don't don't put that man on the back burner. But for all these baby showers, I'm gonna come. But just know we gonna have a little talk. Because that child still need their daddy. I don't care how mad I get, what I say crazy, but at the end of the day, I always want my kids to have a relationship with their father. Because at the end of the day, he may be able to tell you something that I can't, or you may not like the way I say it, because I'm gonna say it how I say it, and that's what it is, you know. But for all these baby showers, look here, man, I'm gonna come and eat. I'm gonna bring something, but we gonna talk about it. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Dang. Will there be a link for the Zoom? I'll catch it there. I'll check. Send me the Zoom link, okay? And I got a Sam's membership. I might get
You
you.
send a cash out
No,
or the
no, no,
Sam.
no, 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 no. You can't use that for other things. So this for the baby, okay? This for the baby. Whether he's down the hill, at the bottom of the hill, or she's on top of the. I'm gonna support the baby, but man, that's the craziest thing, man. I wish I wouldn't graduate and I talk about I'm gonna have a cookout. Anyways, let me keep it moving.
That's
Oh, that's mean.
oh, Dwayne, that is phenomenal.
That
I'm
was
sorry, y'all. My bad.
fantastic.
We know
Hey,
you got kept back one more year, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We'll give you.
I didn't have one for my GED, so let me
didn't mean
digress.
to interrupt you, bro.
We can have it though. We can have us a good Zoom. Everybody
Oh,
cook their favorite dish. A Zoom potluck.
listen,
Hmm.
I almost did it. Go ahead, Dwayne.
No, hey, I'm sorry, but to me, his point though, I'll say this: that village piece did hit me a little different though. That village piece did hit me a little different. But then I was also thinking like half the village is missing. Like for you, your situation was different, right? He was there. And the single man, man. So even to Jamie's point, Jamie was like, "Hey, I'm falling back. I'm falling back." So it's like I could see from both sides, but it's like, man, like it's tough for me to show up in a situation where I'm like, "Hey, you did this to yourself." Like there's those situations. Because I can't hold my. It's tough. I can't. My facial expressions. It's tough for me to do it. Right. So to me, I see your situation, Jamie. I see your situation as well, and it's like, man, hey, okay, all right, all right. I'm gonna fall back.
Interesting. But you said it like this though. You said, "I wish I would have a graduation party," and I didn't even graduate. See, I think it's interesting the double talk that I hear that y'all want to, except for Jamie, y'all want there to be a consequence, but not a consequence that will hurt them to the point that you feel is satisfactory. The goal is to, first of all, teach women that sex, men and women, that sex is how God designed it. However, if there's a scenario in which you operate outside the lines, because we all operate outside the lines, but there are consequences. And so if you're saying we're going to celebrate something that God doesn't like, I think I have a problem with that because I, I don't see the value. I don't see how we can say that single motherhood doesn't have value, but then come back and say we're going to honor the thing that has no value, right? So it's very important that there is a village. Don't get me wrong, because maybe, right? Maybe, like you're saying that this woman is going to have all this support. Then where is she learning? Where is she learning if she got support? The government is already going to take care of her, give her the money she need. WIC, I mean, everything. The government gotta. That's where we are. Do we not understand that? That's why we got where we are now. Is because the government was like, "Listen, women, y'all can be very promiscuous, and you can have as many babies as you want, and us, the government, will take care of you." And that's without a baby shower. That is saying we're going to fit the bill for this kid that did not come here in the way that God want them to come here. And I'm speaking as like it could have been me, right? I could have been in that situation where I impregnated somebody and I was not married to her. So I get it. I get the compassion part that you're trying to exhibit. But God is a just God, is he not?
Yes, he is.
So he does things to show us that we got to learn from it. You look at Joseph. Joseph was bragging to his brothers about a coat. Not just about a coat, also the fact that they're gonna be serving him. What happened to him? He got thrown in a ditch. He had to take the long way to get to where God promised him. The lady that the woman at the well, Jesus told her, "Listen, man, I already know your situation, and the man you with ain't your husband. Why would we celebrate what God doesn't ordain?" I really think that we got to be able to say, you know what, you made a mistake, because that's what it is to me. When we sin, that's a mistake. We got to call it what it is, right? When I had sex before marriage, that's a mistake. Okay, and I chose to do that, and there are consequences to my choices. And so we got to be able to, if we're trying to teach women, right? That's the topic for today. If we're trying to teach women that single motherhood has no value, then there has to be a reasonable consequence to say, listen, you wanted this because you should have chosen to become a wife. We talk about this on the show. We tell women y'all need to close your legs, but then we're gonna come back and say, well, no, you didn't close your legs, so we're gonna celebrate it.
I'm gonna say this, just because they show up at the baby shower don't mean they're part of the village. Baby,
But
people come for the food.
but that's true. But that also still comes a part of what you're celebrating, right?
We
You,
celebrate life. Hey, life. Hey, we have. I mean, hey, either you gonna learn from it or you gonna dig the ditch deeper and drown. Cause I dug my ditch a little deeper, and guess what? When I start drowning, I start realizing what
you
needs not happen.
you breaking up, Ash.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
My
no.
bad.
Um, can I say that I don't feel that the baby shower celebrates single motherhood. I don't view a baby shower as celebrating the mother and the father. I never viewed it that way. I viewed it as celebrating new life. Um, Now how it got here, I don't glorify it. I don't think it's okay, but I think that's why my perspective was so different, because it was about creating at least some sustainability for the life that's to come. So like if it took helping out. Like I said, it didn't have to be extravagant or whatever. And 9 times out of 10, if you're having a baby shower thrown for you and that you're not planning yourself or whatever, there are some people around you that are set to or want to support you. Um, so I think that the baby shower was more so about the baby and not more so about celebrating how the baby was created, is was my viewpoint. So I'm not it's right, like I get it, like I totally stand by it, and I've gotten a new perspective on it, and how it can be handled. But my view was because it was more so I'm thinking about the baby's already coming in, and like Dwayne said, half the family is not there. Like it's empty. And for me, I feel like, imagine if you were having this conversation and this baby could hear you.
Well,
Like, we're gonna celebrate a mistake. We're gonna celebrate like you were created
baby
by.
is not a mistake though. You're
That's what
not,
I'm saying. I don't think the baby shower celebrates the mistake.
but it does, because you could easily just do what Lost in Translation say and just send just get a
Well, no,
registry.
again, let me add, like,
If you get a
I
registry, that's not a celebration. That's you giving something to the kid.
okay. I mean, I
You
guess. I
literally
mean,
have
I also stand by like the White School podcast, where I'm not saying every like you deserve constant baby showers. Like, I think I'm also viewing this as a perspective of a mother who's never been a mother before and now is left alone to be a mother, and there's a baby coming into this. And I feel like if we need to sit down and talk to you, even if the baby shower you talk to the mothers, maybe it's a baby shower just with moms. I don't know. There's ways that you can put this, but like, to have real life conversations to prepare you for what's to come, to pour into you the kind of stature you need to hold yourself to in the future. It doesn't just need to be what we imagine as a baby shower. If we're really, for me in the future, what I might do is I probably might not celebrate baby showers the same. If I'm having a friend that is having a child out of wedlock, I will still support her. If she wants to have a brunch and sit down and with people that love her, or she wants to have a baby shower, I will ensure that I go to her and I be that friend that says, "Hey, like, we need to do better," or whatever the case may be. You can turn that around. But I think that the baby shower is showering the baby. Now the baby was created improperly, and this is not okay, and it should not be glorified. But I think that God has taught us to soften our hearts. And I think that there are moments and times for everything. And I feel like on how you handle it, how you go about, like, at the end of the day, it's this person's life. You could not throw them in the baby shower and they could pop out 6 more babies just because they got a registry too. Like, oh yeah, they gonna run up that registry. They gonna run up them gift cards. Like that's okay too. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's people making decisions with their lives. But I don't know. I have a soft spot for, I understand. I've seen what that loneliness feels like. And I feel like you and them facing that with God alone, if they have God in their life, is heavy. And I
Okay,
just,
so
yeah,
how do you and I know Lost wanted to say something. So
yeah.
this is what I'm saying though. How you can be there for them. I think that's
Hmm.
the part that you may, that I may not be communicating well, maybe. But a shower is a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can't say that you're celebrating the child without saying you're not celebrating single motherhood. They go together.
So
Like
when
the
that child is born, how do you view that child's life?
Say it one more time.
When that child is born, what is your viewpoint on that child's life? Because if they are not to be celebrated
The okay,
before,
celebrating before they're brought into the world, the party is what it is, right?
hmm,
The party is the baby shower.
yeah,
You can give them advice, and you can get a registry
yeah,
to say these are we bought you a whole bunch of Pampers. This is the last time I'm buying Pampers as it relates to another child.
right.
Okay, but to have cake, punch, uh,
Games.
games. Yeah, y'all do all types of games. You're telling me that you're going to give a woman that is that's about to be a single mother, the same exclusivity as a married woman that's bringing in a child? That's what you're saying.
I'm
Under
gonna say
certain
yeah.
circumstances, yes, I will. If she was left out dry and we are all she has, I am showing up. Nobody's telling me different. That baby has value, and you made a decision. You better not make it again. You better not. But you did not. You For a woman that walked herself into that knowingly she was never going to be with that man. That man did not bail on her, whichever the case may be. You knew this was what you called for. No, like you knew what you signed up for. No, if you are an Ebony K. Williams, no.
But there's no way to. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
there is. There are women that lay down and have babies with men and knew that was not going nowhere.
What I'm saying is, there's no way to say, well, who's going to police that particular position?
You know, you the person situation where you go in the baby shower. Did that man leave you high and dry? Yes. You are now by yourself 8 months pregnant? Yes. When he was there for
That's
the
why
first 5 months? Yes.
there's so many nuances to do that.
That's why I said it's
So,
circumstantial.
okay, let me ask you a question. Do you believe, and this is the tough question, so do you
Okay.
believe that there are scenarios, this is what you're saying, that there are scenarios that babies should be deleted?
No.
What?
I never said baby. I'm the one advocating to celebrate the baby's life.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, right? If you're saying that no matter what, the baby should be here, that's what you're saying,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But then
Do
you
not
give
kill your child.
caveats. But then you give caveats though to when I say uh, we should not do a baby shower. We should not celebrate single motherhood if the woman is bringing a child into this world um, not under covenant. You're saying that that's okay.
Mary
I'm
did it to
saying
Jesus.
Say what?
I said Mary did it to Jesus.
Did what to Jesus?
He was overshadowed by the Holy Spirit, right? He wasn't married to Joseph wasn't married to his wife, and he was going to put her away, right? Because he found out that she was pregnant. But God had to tell him that what's being done with her is of the Holy Spirit. So she could have been a single mom too.
But
So
God still
technically,
respected. Listen, God still respected Joseph's
okay, that was
position
after
to send an angel.
the case. But the point is, he chose her to bring the child into the world
But she was
without being touched by a man. So essentially, she was a single mother
no,
of Jesus Christ,
no.
right?
You might,
He wasn't created by Joseph,
you might
which
I
she
know
was a spouse to. She wasn't married to yet, but he
but God,
had to interject and
but God
overshadow
told
her
her,
before he touched her.
but God talked to Joseph. He sent the angel.
Okay, but he had to talk to her. But what did Joseph want to do?
Joseph wanted to not be her husband.
Okay, so that's the point. That's the motive of what he wanted to do. But if God did not interject to let him know what was going on, okay,
You
that's
believe
cool.
that that's the
But so
same?
he still went on with the plan. It didn't take anything away from Jesus, even though that wasn't his biological child,
So are you saying that
right?
it's
So he still raised him. He still was there for them. And what he do? He became the savior of the world, just like you were with your
yes?
single mother, right?
This is what I think, that people misconstrue the Bible for whatever reason. I don't know. They don't study it for real, for real. Okay.
But I'm
The way,
saying,
let me
technically it was.
no. Let me tell you the
It
way
could have
that
been.
you got to listen. The way that it couldn't have been, because God says it's the husband. It's him, the husband, and the wife. That's how He set it up
Bro,
from
I'm
the
saying
no.
Joseph did not
No,
impregnate
I know that.
Mary with
I know that.
Jesus. This is what I'm saying. And he
Understand.
wanted to shame her, just as you're trying to shame the mother for being a single mother. When she came up pregnant,
I
you're
understand.
saying she needs to be put away. She shouldn't get certain things, right?
No,
Nope, I didn't say
it's
that.
not shame. It's not shame like that. It's why would you like this public display of celebration, right? Again, like the for something that shouldn't necessarily be, because it's reserved for something. So even looking in the definition, it said parents. So even for to me, and whenever she said it was her and her husband, it's like I don't have an issue, or her husband who wasn't, they weren't married yet, but he was there.
Exactly.
That's a different circumstance,
But
right?
that's still just an engagement. So you know what I'm saying? He hadn't exposed to her yet. So
But it's still the
technically, if
parent.
you're not married and you are pregnant with a child, we just defined that in the beginning, you are a single mother, right? Because of that situation he hadn't exposed to her yet, because he had to be born by a virgin, right?
No, I
So
think
it
that
gets a little iffy. So
no,
like, do we
I
make
think that's in the
exceptions for certain
context. That
people
one was in
because
the context of the home inside. If they leave in the home, this one is if you didn't get married before conception. Which yes, I would say that that's iffy too. But I think once the guy is there and present and is willing to show up and do what it takes, and then uh, in a moment of time they'll get there. I can respect that, but I can't respect whenever he's not in the picture at all, and then it's trying to have that celebration again. Like imagine like a wedding without the husband there.
okay.
So
I think I could help answer,
Just
like,
challenging
alleviate
just
this, only
challenging. I like to
because
throw a curveball.
yeah, I think I can help give like a clear understanding. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of my story. So my mom wasn't happy that I got pregnant, right? My family did not throw me a baby shower. There was no celebration like that. But I was new to this area and I was working at a church. Okay, they gave me a job because I didn't have a job. So I was working the nursery, and they decided to come together and like buy me things that I needed, right? Like Pampers and all of this stuff. So it wasn't a baby shower, but it was just these older people, because it was an older church that I went to. These older people said, okay, look, we do not condone what you're doing. And it's exactly what they said to me. We do not condone what you're doing. You are new to this area. We know that we're not paying you a lot over in this nursery area here. And so here are some diapers, here are like some like real necessities, things that I probably would have never thought to buy of myself because I was having a new kid. And that was it. That's all I got. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it wasn't what like a baby shower would be if your family did it for you, or like celebrating nothing. It was just, I got corrected and I got what I absolutely needed, right? And that's that. And then they provided a job opportunity for me to work. So they did not, they what is that one saying, is you could take a horse to water but you can't make it drink. So they made sure that I was never dependent on them, or like free handouts, if that makes sense, right? So I think if we do the same thing within our own communities, that would change the dynamic. One, that would make people go like me, like, I don't want to do this, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have multiple kids. And not make them feel like, okay, well, people have my back so much that I can do it again. um and then celebrate the people that are actually married and did it the right way, so that they can say, okay, this is what a baby shower should look for people that do it under God's covenant the right way, right? And so that's what that's what happened for me. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that was and I think that's what Humble Dad was trying to say, was like, you could do a registry, you can help, but there has to be some point of where the person is like, I have to do this on my own because this is the bed that I made. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the pigsty I decided to be in. Like, I'm in there. I'm in this mud right now because it's a choice that I made. So hopefully that gives a clear understanding. I came out pretty good out of the situation. I still don't want to be a single mom. And that's why I have one child by myself. So I know better now for sure. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Tamia, you wanted to clarify?
Yes, please. Um, so I completely agree with Jamie's situation. I would still consider that a form of showering her in some sort before she has a child. That is why I was saying, one, I do not condone aborting or anything of that sort. What I was saying is, there is still value to this child's life. And the way that I was processing what you were saying, HD, is like, why would we celebrate something that was cultivated in a way of sin? And I get that. Like, we should not throw a whole shebang, smoke, fire, balloons, the most expensive venue, because you did this and you did it by yourself and we want to show you we love you. No. But I mean this, I think more of an internal feeling that the mother would get. We are here for you. Although you did this and you need to learn from it, we are here for you. There is still a life coming that has value. Now, how that life was created, we do not stand by it. We hope that you choose better for yourself in the future. But just like you said, like, that's why I said, imagine the child was able to hear you right now say like, so what, we should throw a big party for a mistake. I think I view that, and I heard that in a way of, I believe from the child, the moment the child is conceived, God has reason for that life. So we should, in some sort, show that we are supporting the life that is coming in some sort of way. Jamie's way, that sounds sufficient to me. That sounds sufficient. That sounds like she did not go into that, regardless of how she puts it and how much conviction she felt. She did not go into birthing that child feeling alone, because of what the church put together for her and how they presented it to her. They did not glamorize single motherhood. They did not glamorize how she went about having her baby, but they honored the fact that she is going to still go through with that, birth her child. And if she needs anything for counsel or to hear the truth, she knows to go to that church or to go to those members that surrounded her as a village before she gave birth to her child. That is what I mean. That's why I kept saying it doesn't matter how it looks. It doesn't need to be extravagant, but in some way, please let that mother know, outside of clicking the Amazon link and mailing it to her with some note on it that says, don't do it again. Go to her face and say, since I'm this pressed about it, I love you that much because I wanted better for you. I'm going to show up here with the diapers. Do I like how this looks? No, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to show you that I'm in your corner, despite the mistakes and the sin that you make in your life, because I am not God. But I can definitely redirect you in the right direction and be behind you to tell you the truth. But you're not going to hear silent. All you hear is the delivery guy at your door. That is not cool to me. I don't think it's glamorizing single motherhood. It doesn't have to be a big party, but show up. And that is all I'm saying. Have the baby. Have the baby. Do not abort. I am pro life.
Right, right. And so I was only saying, I thank you for your clarification. I really
Yeah.
don't know what Jamie said different than what I said, but maybe it's because I'm a
I'm
man.
agreeing with
It was
you.
her.
Somebody
It was
tell him
her.
I'm
Thank
I'm
you, Jamie.
agreeing.
Appreciate you.
So, humble dad, you said you had relations before you got married.
Yeah.
What ramifications did you and your wife take for that? Excuse me.
What was the ramifications?
Yeah, what
Lost
shame
a
or
child.
what was done in that
I would
case?
say we lost a child.
Yeah, that's so sad.
That
I
was one.
know.
That was
I did that too, and it doesn't feel good. But I mean, so if a person does that, okay, like say if like they're having premarital sex and they're not married, what are the that's when the conversation really needs to be had in those
yeah,
situations. So
sure.
what are the ramifications that needs to take place so that conception can be deterred and we don't
The,
have to be like, oh, hating on the mom because she can't get no pampers or things like that. So what
well,
is
I'm
the
not
step
on the
before
mom
conception?
I'm not saying that. The conversations need to be about doing it God's way. That's really what the conversation needs to be about. However, sin is a real thing, and we fall short, is what I'm saying. So no different if I was lying to you know, if I was lying to somebody, they would probably remove themselves from me. So that's a consequence. That's a hard consequence, right? If I was cheating, that there will be a consequence to that. But what I'm hearing is that we want to pamper something that is a mistake. I just told you that you know I understand that it's very possible that I'm not in the position where I would like to be because of some of the bad decisions that I've made. And so I work through that knowing that the God's grace and mercy is very sufficient. I'm appreciative. The word says, Paul says, should I continue to sin so that grace may abound? Absolutely not, is what he said. There has to be some type of consequence, or like for the man, there's going to be consequences. He's going to be put on child support. And if he doesn't pay child support, then what? He can get his license taken away. He can go to jail. Those are consequences. But a single mother does not typically have any consequences for that
But
particular.
that's would you say that that's nothing that we can control? Isn't that something that our government controls? Because if they're making the man suffer financially? How is society and government essentially, how are they controlling
That's my
and
point.
policing women? So I mean, like,
I got
how
you,
can
Law.
you kind of get mad at the people when your nation allows it, when your city allows it, when your state allows that?
You don't have to throw a baby shower. That's a choice,
Mhm.
right?
But
Right?
I don't know.
That's
I
a
don't know.
that's a.
Maybe I'm addressing it from a multi-level type of thing,
Oh no,
from
I get all of them.
all the way down.
The thing of it is that like we was already saying this. Get a registry. Go buy whatever the person needs, and they can pick it up from the registry. You can communicate to them however you want to communicate with them. But as to put together a party to say, "Oh, we can't wait till this baby get here. It's so awesome." Like I don't think that is going to that does a disservice because you're saying you're basically giving a party to a lady that did it wrong, and you're comparing it to when a woman does do it right. They get the exact same thing. That doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Lost, on you, and we're gonna be heading out.
You know what? Here's my thing. A lot of times we like to say that the woman is the weaker vessel. Well, my thing is this: why are we spending our time trying to undergird the weaker vessel? You know what I mean? My whole thing is this: why not put the emphasis on where it needs to be, which is the man? My whole thing is this: if we supported the men who had these children, then what will happen is that child will still have a father. That woman will still have a husband. You see what I'm saying? And that village will come together knowing that, hey, look, we're gonna help this dude. He has a job, he has a career, that type of thing. If the village needs to come together, the village needs to come through him. If we're gonna honor it the way God says honor it, you know what I'm saying? We got to have it the way God said do it. Then after that, we have to support the man and not the woman, because what happens is when you don't support the man, you're out of order. You're out of God's divine order. And basically what you're doing is you're leaving the woman unprotected. And I think that's the problem, whether we decide to have kids with a dad by IVF, or if you decide to say, hey, this wasn't the optimal situation. But my thing is this: if you get back to the point where you say, hey, you know what, since this is your child, sir, here is your new community. These are the people that you're going to have to work with. And what's going to happen is that's going to shame a lot of people out of doing the things that they were supposed to have been doing in the first place. Imagine if you walked in, we used to call it shotgun weddings. Imagine if you got somebody pregnant, then all of a sudden you want to disappear. No, that's not how that works, sir. Welcome to the family. You know what I mean? Here's your resources. You know what I mean? You're a part of the family now. You can't go somewhere else and make a new family. Welcome to the tribe. You know what I mean? That type of thing. That way that'll cut down on married men sleeping with single women. That'll cut down on women cheating with other men. You know what I mean? You can't welcome all these people into the family if it's done incorrectly. You see what I'm saying? So instead of showering the woman with the gifts, what they need to be doing is they need to be showering the man with the gifts and making sure that he actually does what he's supposed to do. And what happens is if the woman knows that she has to go to her husband for provision, that's going to cut a lot of this back talking out between men and women, saying that, hey, look, I don't need no man, that type of thing. So you're taking away all of that insubordination. Even the Bible says that the woman is going to be subject to her husband. You see what I'm saying? Even if that rebellious spirit kicks up, you're still going to be subject to your husband's command. But my whole thing is this: when we do things out of order and we just say, hey, just to move the man out of the way to make things a little easier for a little bit of influence. You see what I'm saying? That type of thing. Then what that does, it gives you the society that we have now. That's the main reason why women choose a bear over a man. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why a lot of women don't respect men. That's the reason why Ebony K. Williams is right here trying to get pregnant without a man. But at the end of the day, she still needed the essence of a man to create the child that she has. You see what I'm saying? And the killing part about it is she had to go far and wide to go find it. You know why? Because men are starting to wake up. and say, hey, look, you know what? I know my value. I'm not leaving my sperm in the sperm bank. If you want my, my sperm or whatever, you're going to be subject to my rules. You're going to be subject to doing what I say do. You're not just going to be doing that. And as far as other men are concerned, if you haven't noticed, a lot of guys are no longer dating women with children. You know what I mean? Why should you get the best of the crop when you've made a bad decision, with this dude in the middle of the night, with a situation like that? Date somebody who already got some kids. But as far as the top of the mountain, you're not going to get that. And that also is a deterrent for women that's saying, hey, to keep them from leapfrogging from one man to the next because of hypergamy or whatever it is that people want to say. It says, hey, you cannot get the top rung of man because you've done this. And that, in essence, will deter them from doing other things, leaving their family, breaking their homes, that type of thing. So my thing is this: if you really want to support the kids, if you really want to support single mothers, you probably need to look back and support the men who are responsible for making these children and holding them accountable, and also welcoming them into the family and supporting them so they can learn how to be better men and take care of their families.
What a point. This has been phenomenal. Appreciate y'all for being here. Don't forget to check out Lost in Translation on all platforms. Ash, she kind of sleepy, but she's still doing the thing. But hey, you had your stuff early though, Ash. You was rocking and rolling for sure. It's me, Jamie, who has a conversation every other question, right? But she gets it done for sure. Make sure you check her out. Absolutely. Thank you, the Wife School Podcast. Appreciate you for being here. Been phenomenal for us. And then Dwayne Jones, always late. I mean, you were very consistent in that. I appreciate that. And then Miss Tamia, the one and only Miss Luster. Shout out to her husband who doing things that other men don't do, except for me and Dwayne. We do those type of things. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous. Seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.